Good morning, folks. William Holder with the William Holder Realty team here. So I wanted to take a quick moment to give you a short market update. Something I've touched on a little bit in some of my past videos here and there. I dropped a hint at it, but I think it's become pretty obvious and it's time to really start pointing it out. Real estate agents that are active in the market need to start pointing it out, and the government needs to start paying attention to it. I've mentioned a few times now that on pretty much all of our listings in that $0 to $500,000 range, we usually get an offer from a real estate agent that's not really affiliated in the local market, but they're representing an LLC, a hedge fund. These hedge funds are buying up the single family rental market in massive quantities. So much so, an example would be in Atlanta, for instance, which is one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. People are wondering, why? It's because 30% of the market from $0 to $500,000 in Atlanta has been purchased by hedge funds. They are pricing single-family homeowners out of the real estate market. Right? How do you compete with cash? How do you compete with as is? How do you compete with these crazy things in that price range as a regular homeowner? Someone that's just trying to plant a seed so that their family can have somewhere to live and grow their generational wealth over time are being outpriced by hedge funds, right? And the government's doing nothing about it. Why? Because they're probably backed by these hedge funds. It's always the case. So, a big movement that needs to happen is that these things need to start getting limited. It's getting harder and harder for my clients. I see my clients having a hard time outbidding these ridiculous offers. And companies like Zillow are to blame. Companies that were buying with these iBuyers were to blame. These funds are hurting the real estate market. If you're a company like Zillow and a house is worth, let's say $300,000, but you can buy 10 properties in that neighborhood for $350,000 because you have the money. Now those houses you're buying are worth $350,000. The regular homeowner can't compete with that. So as people that are actively in the market, as realtors that are actively in the market, and as homeowners that are actively in the market, we need to start paying attention. We can't let these hedge funds and giant companies and corporations kill the dream of owning a home. This isn't a, be afraid type video, but honestly, it's getting rather frustrating for a lot of my buyers to deal with this. And for a lot of the sellers that need to sell and move up or move down, it's making life very difficult for them. People like to, the blame always comes back on the consumer. When the market crashed in 2008, because the mortgage companies were handing out blank checks, who paid for that? The consumers, right? Mortgage insurance came in. So now consumers are paying for that. The people that lost their homes were paying. The banks were bailed out, but the people that lost their homes weren't, right? So what's going to happen when when this all shakes out and the market has to settle? Who's going to pay for that? We are, not these hedge funds. They have their hands in the pocket, or Wall Street has their hands in their pockets. So it's going to be us. So we need to pay attention to these things. I've brought it up a few times before, but now I'm really putting it out there because, quite frankly, it's happening all across the country. It's okay to be a landlord. It's okay to be a responsible landlord. It's not okay when one corporation or, these large corporations are buying hundreds and thousands of homes. That's right, hundreds and thousands, millions of homes are being taken off of the residential ownership market and put into the rental market. Nothing wrong with being a renter, but when becoming a homeowner is becoming harder, it becomes a problem. So let's pay attention, let's start making noise about it, and hopefully it slows down. Hopefully there's some regulation against this. We don't want to become a rental nation.